Okay, so I did a ton over the break, and I had to because, again, I'm concerned about the release date for Natural Disasters. I want to make sure I get a pretty good majority of Los Angeles built before we blow it up. So you might not notice any immediate changes, but there are definitely a lot of minor changes. We're at almost 70,000 people because pretty much I was really pushing myself. I said, Drew, you gotta get people to move in, and that took forever. And part of the problem was that, it took forever because I didn't have a very attractive looking city. We needed to put down, well, first of all, more parks. More things like that, more educational things, more, fire departments, things that people need, I guess, because they would complain without it. So let's start off with PCH. So PCH looks really well, I think, really nice, very energy efficient and all beautiful stuff like that. We also have our first solar power plant down. There it is, which is generating a ton of electricity. I threw that sucker down and we were set. We were good to go, which is pretty nice. I also began to make PCH all the way down towards the southern part of the map. So we have all of this filled out, which this is really important because I've got to start building Long Beach. Why do I have to start building Long Beach? Because that's a very important port to Southern California. That is actually a really crucial part of that people don't really talk about that much. Is it's a port, and actually this map is perfect because if you look at the transportation, this is the only place where you can get like harbor ports and little thingy outside connections, I guess you could say, through the sea. It doesn't come off through the East Coast, at least in Southern California. So yeah, the more you know. I'm not saying that it doesn't at all. I'm just saying that's where the port is in the real world. So that's there we go. Hopefully I taught you a thing or two. Anyways, and then here we go. Downtown LA. So it's looking pretty good. Obviously, I put a few buildings down. Here are some famous buildings. Apparently, we have trash in our tallest building. Unfortunately, these buildings are a little bit too tall. I should have got the bigger building mod, but I could always change that up. So yeah, we're gonna see these issues pop up. We're gonna see the death issue pop up a lot. We're gonna see a lot of the garbage issue pop up. There's really nothing I can do about it at this point. We've got such a huge town. It's gonna be tough to fix that either way. But there are gonna be little things that I'm gonna try to change. I want to focus on like management here because it's kind of a huge mess. It is kind of a huge mess right now. What I've got going on. Here is kind of the zoning of areas. I've pretty much I got rid of industry. Huntington Park, it wasn't working. Everyone's going to school, man. Everyone's going to school, so they weren't about that life of working in the industry. I will have to build that someplace else then. Someplace where we intentionally don't educate people. Okay, so we have a small demand for more commercial, and I think that's what I want to do real quick right here. Let me go to the no zone and say no zone off this whole area. Goodbye. Okay, so boom, right by SC2, and then we'll throw down like a ton of, not big buildings. I'm not doing any more big buildings because that doesn't really work in our favor. I actually don't want that corner to be zoned off, but that's okay. I'll erase this stuff. Okay, so let's at least get that started because I know that might, it's a good spot, I think, for extra little stores, I guess you could say. Okay, so let's go into traffic because traffic is going to be pretty bad. Also, sewage treatment plant. I mean, we've just lined up the coast here. We've got so many little sewage treatment plants all along the this is like Hermosa Beach, I believe. But anyways, okay, it doesn't matter, Drew. Just look at the traffic. Just focus on the traffic. So yeah, I don't think Santa Monica's going to be too bad at all. Obviously this part is. And there's really nothing we can do about that. I mean, that's just how it is, baby. That's just how it is. Actually, you know what we could do? Wait a second. That's actually really smart because that is not how it is, Drew. So let's fix that by throwing down a little off-ramp someplace else. Preferably, actually, now that I think about it, off of PCH. That would be really helpful. Let's make sure that it's a nice long off-ramp too. Okay, so I want to come straight down there and then boom. Bammo. Okay, so let's see if this kind of changes anybody's mind. I don't know if I probably should have built that maybe someplace else. Although you would think that if they were headed towards Sunset Boulevard, you know, they'd get onto this 10 freeway, and then do something a little bit about it. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that wasn't the best of ideas. A little bit of, you know, hey, if we can contribute 1 or 2 cars, or if we can distribute 1 or 2 cars off of this ramp, it might be a little bit easier. Perhaps a little bit easier. Now, is there a huge? Yes, there is a huge waiting line to get onto the freeway, onto the highway. That could be a problem as well. For now, let me maybe just drag you up here. Let's intentionally not make it even. Okay, yeah, so let's try that. I actually don't think this is the best of ideas. I'm actually gonna, yeah, never mind, Drew. That was kind of dumb. What I'm gonna do instead is bring, yes, to here. Now, is there a way to make it that not so dumb looking? Okay, not everything needs to be dumb looking, Drew. Is there a... I think the best way to do this would be probably to lock it off like this. Yeah, and then freeform it. Freeform it like so. Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. So that'll be a nice off-ramp right to get you to the core of Santa Monica if you need to. For people that... I am also still considering, you know, that's what we could do too. Okay, so this is probably not something I should be focused too heavily on, because Santa Monica isn't like the most important part of the city. Not to say Santa Monica isn't important, but it's probably one of the more dense, or least dense areas that I have built right now. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Okay, so I want to bring you kind of up here. Let me try to... Yeah, there we go. That's a kind of a sharp turn, don't you think, Drew? Oh, whoops, whoa! Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, whoops. I did not mean to do that at all. That works. There, okay, so take a little bit of that. There's no reason for you to want to get onto the highway. Like, that would not make any sense. Okay, good. So I think this is going to work out pretty well for us. All right, so that doesn't really matter all that much, as I said. There's really nothing much we can do about that. This is going to be a big intersection either way, because we've got like a huge 6-lane road diverging with a 4-lane road. Kind of a huge mess thingy. Okay, everything is going to be fine up here. This is kind of small towns, little, you know, nice and quiet, relaxing. We've got our business area, our work area. This is very weirdly nicely handled. Although, what time of day is it? It's still middle of daytime. I don't know what's going on. All right, that's pretty cool. How's this off-ramp? Oh, that's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Now, we might want to consider putting more off-ramps, and that might help out a little bit. That way, you know, we're not forcing everybody to get off at one spot, one specific spot. So let's try this. Let's put an additional one. Let's go straight. Yeah, let's put just one additional one right there. How about we freeform it then? If you're gonna be all weird. Okay, that sounds good to me. And then this doesn't need to be, yeah, this, you don't need to take long to get up here. That's probably a lot better. That's the type of way I should be making it. More long, I guess. I don't know. More long? Whatever. Diction is not my strong suit, clearly here on this channel. Okay, here. I'm gonna try. No, that didn't work. Is that gonna be? That's probably not gonna be enough. All right, let's try that. Okay, I'm okay with that, I guess. I guess so. And then we'll just connect it back, and I'll try to make it somewhat even, but it's not going to be the most even. Okay, so we'll see how that works out. Now, including a third entrance and exit here is probably ideal. Yeah. Hey, whoa. Okay, so I see that the death hasn't been fixed. I don't like all this death that I'm seeing. Also, water. The amount of times, if you guys had $1 every time I made this mistake, dang, you guys might be rich enough to rule the world. Holy crap. Okay, so this is clearly really bad too. Now I think the best way to fix this is probably to delete this stuff, these floating cars. Definitely to delete this stuff, do a one-way road straight here. Now it's got to be one way. That way at least you have 2 lanes that you guys can park on. Or, yeah, I mean, so you can get off the highway. I can't have people just backing up into the highway. And then this is straight. Space is occupied by what? Okay, well I'll try something more regular, I guess. Huh, this is not cooperating with me. Why aren't you cooperating? Okay, there we go. Let's try the freeform so that it's not weird. It's less weird. All right, so how's that working? How does that work? So this is not, well, this is weird, but this is kind of what I was hoping for at the very least, being able to pack more people in this longer stretch of road, unless everyone's trying to turn right. That also gives us a sign of like where people are turning. Are you turning right or are you turning left? It seems like most people exiting off of the, this is, I also still think the 10. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, all these deaths are really starting to bug the crap out of me. What are you doing? I've got tons of these guys, I think. They're all over the place. What do you want? What do you want from me? And also raised my maintenance up for these suckers too. So there's no excuse, unless it's just backed up by traffic. Okay, then that would be actually a pretty good excuse. That might be it, Drew, because this whole thing is gridlocked. This whole thing is gridlocked. All right, so let's remove this intersection. Yep, that's got to be it. Okay, so these squares are probably not the best of ideas. Let's first start off by something simple. Let's get rid of some of these. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Okay, so that will be a start. I think that will be a pretty good start. Now we've got to get people. We got to get people out of this. Oh, this is starting to shape up. This is starting to shape up in an okay way. Yeah, so these are going to be the big major problem on and off ramps. There's not much that we can do about it. Unless, of course, and I don't even know if that's going to do, if I do a 4-lane road here, that's one way. Maybe that could do something. Dang, you guys just all trying to get off of... Is there a better way? Is there a better way for you guys to get through life? Or is that the only way you can get through life? Oh, these are huge intersections too. That is kind of a problem, that you guys are waiting for this 4-lane. I'm kind of thinking about downgrading it, actually. I'm going to do it, and that way at least you won't, there's no like stop signs. I'm going to try to do the same here. I'm going to keep everything else there, but I'm going to try to do the same thing. Yeah, so I clearly have, I didn't need to build all of those like dead people things to pick up the dead people. It's just the fact that we've packed in so many people in this very, very, very small area. That is mostly the problem that we're seeing. Hey, what are you talking about? What is this? Not enough customers. You've got customers from all different sides, man. Well, I guess you probably don't. Oh, well, that's going away. And that should go away. Let's also get this out of here. Yeah, don't do this. I don't know who told you to do that. It wasn't me. Was not me. I can tell you that much. Okay. Now I changed a lot of things here. Let me probably redraw this stuff. Not like that though. Here. There you go. Nope, not like that. Not like that. Here you go. Take this again. And bammo. Okay, cool. Okay, so I do think that made a little bit of a difference. Now this is still a pretty big trouble area. You know, the northern you get, you know, the less traveled upon, but that's only because there's not that many buildings over here, and there's going to be. So we've got to work on this next area. We've got to work here. So this is kind of even more important. These two off and on ramps. Crazy, crazy. The amount of business, I guess, they're getting. Okay, so I would just want a straight path right there. And then we might actually have to destroy a building or two, because, yeah, I need to make sure that this gets here. Alright, so I'm going to destroy that building. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Just got to get out of here. Is there... does that guy need to be there? Does that freaking railway need to be right there, right there? I mean, I guess it does. Okay, here, I got it, I got it, I got it. There it is, okay. Okay, so that's a interesting ramp. Again, I don't know if that is going to fix our problems. Probably not. Probably not. Let's give it some time, because this didn't fix this problem. And like this highway heading towards the east, still a huge mess. Still a pretty massive mess here. Now everything in Huntington Park's still looking okay. I don't have any sort of public transit or anything here, so that's part of the problem. This stuff is just gridlocked. Gridlocked. All right. So I need to do public transit, because this is bad. Probably a metro station. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. That sounds pretty fun. Let's just put it like smack dab in the middle if we can. Okay. So let's do that. Now this, I don't even know if this is accurate. We don't have any underground metros. Metro LA. We have a Metropolitan Transportation Authority. It's not underground though, so I'm not entirely sure if this is fair. Or is it underground? I actually have no idea. Well, let's leave that there for now, and I will do some research on that before I make any decisions. But let's just go ahead and start off with a few bus lines. That's the simplest thing we can do. Oh, we already have that one bus line. I did forget about that. Did we mess this up? Is this all messed up? Let me check on this. Only 200 people are using this bus line. And there's 72,000 people living here. That's really bad. That's terrible. We should be ashamed with ourselves. We should be legit ashamed. Holy crap. And now we're having theft issues, which actually was fine, because I was going to place this down anyways. Yeah, I was gonna put down a police station right here. So there you go. That's gonna go away real quick. Especially since this is not the trouble area. Okay. So I moderately fixed this, kind of. This part is still pretty bad. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna do some research on that. We might have to figure out some sort of public transportation here. But at the same time, I still kind of want to focus on Long Beach, so maybe I'll do that in the next one. Things obviously are pretty hectic right now in the city, so I think that's fun. It's kind of this like very uncontrolled chaos that I have no idea what I'm doing with. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.